All right, are we live? I think we're in the right room here. Go ahead and just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me. Everything okay? And Camille, if you could please drop something in our document here that lets me know that you can see, because I'm actually not seeing any chats over here. Oh, there we go. Okay, got it. All right, cool, guys. So you'll notice I'm in a different space here today, and the reason is they're doing a lot of work on the outside of my building. It's really loud, but the show must go on. So I got an Airbnb. Here we go. I'm also recording a few podcasts over the next few days here. So it's my home for today and tomorrow. But anyway, hope you guys are doing great. And go ahead and put in the chat here, where's everybody coming in from? I'm going to do a few shout outs here. We got Johnny Photography. Hey, Johnny. Yeah, where are you guys coming in from? I'm not seeing anything yet. All right, cool. Well, hopefully everybody's businesses are kind of plugging along and getting back on track. I know it's been a rough go for sure. Here in Chicago, we're in phase 4, which means restaurants are open again, bars are open again. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. Just hopefully everyone's being safe. All right, let me go ahead and Brian Schnurr from South Florida. Hey, Brian. Lori from Cape Coral, Florida. Troy's from Texas. Tony's from Kuala Lumpur. Nice. We got we got an international audience today. I love to see that. All right, cool. So, and I do want to say too. Let me kind of mute this. It's giving me some. Hopefully, we don't get that beeping again. But want to let you guys know next month. So basically, I'm planning on doing this kind of thing every month, except with a twist, because every other month I'm actually planning on doing a little bit of a switch up and not just answering your questions, but reviewing your websites live. So you would show up, you'd type in your web address, maybe let me know what kind of issues you're facing, and I will share my screen and go in and actually kind of review it and give you some pointers for improvements. So give me a thumbs up or a comment if that sounds like something that you would be interested in showing up for. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the date is. Camille, could you put in the chat what the date is when you figure that out? That'd be great. And if you're on my email list, you'll obviously get a reminder of that as well. So, all right, with all the business out of the way here, let's go ahead and get to the questions. All right, so the first one is from Asaf Elgin. And Asaf says, on my Google My Business Google Map, how can I put to account on the sum address without getting, how can I put some address without getting suspended? For example, if I'm a locksmith and plumber and I give mobile service, can I use personal info? Can I use the same phone number? Any tips you can give to make sure I stay in and my account is not suspended? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there, Asaf. Sounds like you're wondering if you can give out your personal info on that. Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, I've done that for years. I only recently took off my address and phone number for my Google My Business, and before that, it was my cell phone number. I think a lot of people are in that boat, so I wouldn't worry about getting suspended. The only thing you need to worry about with Google My Business is giving misleading information, like saying you're a storefront but you're not. Another thing that can get people in trouble is when they start using like a mailboxes, etc. address for their business address. They don't like that kind of thing. So just make sure you're doing everything on the up and up and you should be fine. All right, next question we got from Neboot. Hey Neboot, make a video on how to convert PSD landing page to WordPress responsive page using a builder. Okay, I mean, I don't actually do that. I don't do conversion of Photoshop files anymore. What I recommend is just using Elementor. It's a really easy drag and drop kind of system to where you can just build everything visually and you don't have to do that. So I've got a lot of videos on that topic actually. All right, next up from Christopher Nielsen. Hey Christopher, how would you discredit unethical competition? Should it be communicated more often on the websites if the industry has such issues? Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is, I don't know if you mean one specific company that's operating unethically, or if it's just a matter of there's a lot of unethical practices in your niche. For instance, there's a lot of people have a negative association with contractors, right? For better or worse, I've known a lot of good ones, but there are definitely some bad ones out there, right? So in that case, you would just want to be really clear on your website with an FAQ section, basically using that as an FAQ, right? Like basically, if people are asking the question, how do I know you will finish the job on time? I know a lot of people in your industry don't operate that way. And then you would just kind of address it in your FAQs, talking about how your business practices are different. And then you would bolster that with some positive reviews as well. When it comes to discrediting unethical like individual competitors, I would just give you the advice of staying in your lane on that one. I wouldn't go too far out of your way to get on a soapbox and start talking bad about one of your competitors. It can give people a bad taste in their mouth, quite honestly. And I think that that energy would be better spent if you were just to work on your own stuff and not so much trying to discredit them, because it's kind of a losing battle. What you're just going to start a battle with that company, and then nobody is productive anymore. So I'd be careful with that one. All right, next we have Debbie Medina. Hey, Debbie. She says, I've watched numerous videos on building a website. I finally chose Bluehost with the Ocean WP Elementor theme. With so many features, widgets, which do you recommend are the most important to have? With so many features and widgets, what do you recommend? Okay, well, this is an easy question, because if you go to this right down here, this is my free masterclass on how to create and launch your own profitable client-generating website. That is going to show you what you need to have. It's not even so much about the widgets. It's about the experience, the right content you need to have on your site. But in terms of if you're looking for plugins, obviously Elementor is my favorite. I talk about it all the time. You guys are probably sick of me bringing it up, but it's for good reason. It makes it so easy to do it. And another plugin, there's also Elementor Pro. There's free and there's Pro. I've actually got a video coming up explaining the differences. Pro comes with a few extra bells and whistles like contact forms, which I recommend, because not only for a contact form, but if you want to capture email addresses, you need that form to do it. And if you've paid attention to any of my other videos, you know that is the second most important thing your website can do. Potentially your first most important, because 80% of the people coming to your site are not ready to do business today. You need to get them on your email list. Elementor Pro lets you do that. There are also actually a few free plugins you could use with Elementor to do that. I don't really have the names of those off the top of my head, but another plugin would be Rank Math. It's an excellent SEO plugin. I used to recommend Yoast, but I think Rank Math is far exceeding what Yoast has laid down in front of them. So I would do that. I would do a plugin called Smush, SMUSH, and that basically lets you compress all your media files as you upload them, so your site stays fast. And while we're on that, W3 Total Cache makes your site faster as well. And that's CACHE. I think that's right. All right, cool. Next one we have from Patrick Grasick. I hope I'm saying that right. My advertising account has been blocked after a hacker attack. Yikes. I cannot contact Facebook in any way to unblock it. My company cannot make ads. Support does not reply to emails. What can I do? Yeah, sorry, Patrick. That's nothing I can help you with. I don't really know. Usually Facebook, from what I've not actually tried to talk to them on the phone at any time, but I think there's kind of a thing with them where you have to be what we call a power advertiser before you'll get an account rep. So yeah, that's kind of a tricky one. I'm sorry, I can't really help you with that. Okay, next one. Hopefully I can help here. From Troy Casanova. What platform do you recommend for an e-commerce site? I don't talk about e-commerce much, guys. It's just not my strong suit. I do know you can use WooCommerce with WordPress, but that's about all I know about it. So I would definitely recommend it depends on how many products you have. I had my last e-commerce website I ever worked on, and this is what made me say no more, was they insisted on Joomla, which is very robust and very difficult and very advanced. I would not recommend doing that unless you have like a huge store, in which case you should have a staff working on this stuff for you. But if you're doing WordPress, I've heard great things about WooCommerce. It's a little user grade, but for most of you, that's probably going to be just fine. And I do think you can use that with Elementor as well. So, all right. Next one from 11 Path Media. Google My Business so with Google My Business, can I use a CallRail number and forward to a personal number? So what's CallRail? Is that like a call tracking, or is that just like an app that gives you a virtual phone number? I think if it's a virtual number, you're fine. I think, yeah, my last phone number was I had like an eVoice phone number, I want to say, that forwarded to my mobile phone, and that was fine. So as long as that's what we're talking about, you should be good to go. But if it's the kind of thing where they basically give you a new phone number for every time, that might be a different story. Got to keep caffeinated here. Sorry. Okay. Next question is from Team Wong. I watched your funnel design video that's based on the concept of warming up a prospect to earn their trust, starting with a landing page, then a content upgrade, and then an email campaign. If my goal is to help financial professionals get qualified leads interested in their services, is this a good model for it? Any tweaks you'd recommend? So the goal is to help financial professionals get qualified leads interested in their services. So if I'm understanding this right, you are kind of the coach helping let's just call them financial advisors. You're coaching them to get more clients. So yeah, the way this would work is it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. What you want to do is come up with a video, short, 60 seconds to 2 minutes, probably tops. And that should be very content-based. It's solving a problem for them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to call them out. So this is a Facebook ad, I should say, with the video views objective. You're targeting to people that you think are the best fit for this, whether that's a lookalike audience or you're targeting anything in the financial space. You're going to target these people with this video saying, hey, are you a financial planner looking to attract more clients? If so, here are the 5 tips you need to know to fill in the blank, right? Here's what that accomplishes. You're basically saying, if you're interested in this video, you're raising your hand that you want more information about it. So you then retarget anybody who watches any length of that video. So that could be anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. I would recommend going a little wide with it. So 30 seconds is probably good. Then you would hit them up with more of an offer for an invite to a webinar or a lead magnet, anything like that. You get them on your list, then the email fun can begin. That's where the real warm-up really happens in the email. So every week you send them new helpful content, directing them to a blog post or another video you made. And then from there, the rest is history. So you get people to raise their hand, then you follow up with all those people. So yeah, the first one is a video views objective. Then the second one would be like a lead objective or a conversion objective. So hopefully that helps. All right, and then second question from Team Wong. If we're warming up a client for financial services using the company brand, when should we introduce the actual agent to the prospect and how? If we're warming up a client for financial services I'm not sure I'm getting this question. I think this is a little bit out of my expertise here, honestly. So you're basically asking how you should be introducing your client to their clients. I don't know. That's what you know. That's your business, right? So I would just come up with the best way that works for them. Then question 3, are objection busters needed for our purposes? Like, we won't sell your information. Also, is social proof essential? Yeah, so social proof is always essential. So let's say you're getting people on a webinar. Your financial planners are getting them on a webinar to sell them a course. What you want to do is, on the webinar, use social proof and use objection busters right in the webinar, assuming you're doing that, maybe you're not. If you're not, then even in your emails, your follow-up emails, maybe every email is designed to help them out with something and bust through an objection. So you can be clever about it. And then you'll also want an email that has a few testimonials in it. So something like, do you want to see how this program is helping real financial planners like you open up to see? Then inside, you'll talk about how, our clients have been very satisfied with the program and they were skeptical too, but here's what they have to say about it now, that kind of thing. So you can do that with Facebook ads, anyone who's signed up for your lead magnet to kind of move them through the funnel, right? Okay, cool. So next one is from Eric's Burzins. Hey, Eric's. What do you recommend for keyword research for a small country? It's the same for any size country. You're still going to do keyword research in the same way. You may find that the search volume is obviously going to be less in a smaller country, but you still need to do that initial research. And I recommend, so KW Finder is really good, but it used to be free. Now it's not. The new free one that I recommend is called Uber Suggest. It's really good, and you can put in the country that you live in and then type in keywords, and then it's going to show you the keyword you looked for, as well as a bunch of suggestions. So it's really no different from country to country. You just have to be more willing to go after lower volume keywords, if that makes sense. And the other thing that might kind of factor into play too is if you have a smaller country, you have a fewer searchers, but you also have fewer competition, in theory anyway. So you might be able to go after bigger keywords because you're going to have less people competing for them, if that makes sense. All right, next up we have Cassandra De Silva. Hey, Cassandra. What site do you recommend for SEO research? So SEO research, I assume you mean keyword research, in which case what I just said. So Uber Suggest is a good free one, and KW Finder is a good paid one. From there, there's a lot of other paid ones that are really in depth and really, they're really intimidating to look at. And unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend them. But I like KW Finder because it's kind of a breath of fresh air. It's really easy user experience, and they just show you a lot of kind of suggestions in there. So I recommend those. All right, moving right along to Med Buhamid. Hey, Med. Ads for high ticket items. Anything different than what you've already explained about ads in your videos? So with obviously the higher the ticket item is, the more money you're trying to get from people, the more of a warming up process you need, the more social proof you need. So what this generally would translate to is if you're doing, so you're saying, okay, we're talking about ads specifically here. So let's just say Facebook ads, make it easy. You would do the kind of hand raising video we talked about, getting people to watch it. Then you want to, at that point, you can introduce them either to your lead magnet or you can introduce them to your core offer at that point. But then after that, you want to kind of also show social proof ads. So what I like to do is do a few layers of ads. So the first one is the video views objective. The second one would be just letting them know about the thing you're selling. Okay, here it is. Here's what it's all about. Not a whole lot of people are going to buy at that point, but you're letting them know it's there, that it exists. From there, you want to have a third layer of videos. Anyone who saw that first ad, second ad in the sequence, will now get what we call those objection buster ads. Every video will be you on camera saying, okay, I bet I know what you're thinking about the program right now. I bet I know what you're thinking about our service. Let's talk about it. Let's address that. Sorry, there's a street sweeper out there. And then you would do that one with objections. So maybe come up with your top 3 objections and then one video for each. And then what I like to do also is a video carousel ad for testimonials. And this is gold. You get like 3 testimonial videos, and then each one is in a carousel with just a really short little headline of one snippet they said, just like 2 or 3 words, and then like a 5-star emojis if you can fit that in. And then so they see your core offer, then they see all these different objection and social proof videos. And now suddenly they're kind of getting more interested. So that's one way to do it, especially for high ticket items. All right. Next one is from Raghu Sharma. Hey, Raghu. Is it good to put an FAQ section on portfolio websites services section? So on a portfolio website, so I'm assuming you're some kind of a designer or photographer or something like that. Let's see, is it good to put FAQ section? Yeah, I wouldn't put it on the services section though. FAQ sections, it's one of the things I teach in my paid program, the Profitable Website Launchpad. FAQ section is incredibly important to overcome objections and just to qualify people, because people are going to have a lot of questions, and the more you can answer on your website, the more people are going to start to trust you. So always do an FAQ section, but here's the trick to it. Like I say, it has to be a mix of actual questions you get and objections that you phrase as questions, right? So you would basically choose like maybe 10 to 15. You can put them in categories if you want, if that helps. But yeah, I wouldn't put it on the services page. I would have its own dedicated page for that. All right, here we go. Let's see. We've got Kareem. Hey, Kareem. I have a Google My Business with hidden address. When building citations, most ask for my address, but you don't have the option to hide it. Therefore, giving a false address, will that impact my Google My Business since my address is hidden? So you want to hide your address. You want to have a service area listed, not your address, in your Google My Business. That's fine. And then when you're getting these citations built, they want your address on there. Yeah, so what you can do is you can just specify your whatever you've put in Google My Business as your service area. That's what you can put in there as well. I think most places will let you do that. If not, then you run into those errors of things being consistent. So I would just try to put in your service area in there as best you can. If you can't, then you might have to go with your address. But then if you don't want your address being shown, it's a little tricky there. So just see what you can get away with on each individual website, because a lot of them have different formatting rules and that kind of thing. So all we can really do is be as consistent as these third-party websites will allow us to be. Try to go for 100% consistency, but a lot of them just format in different ways, and we can't account for all of that. All right, then his next question is, once your Google My Business is verified, changing your address, would that mean a new verification? How about the old address? You know what? I'm not sure about that. If when you move, if they make you change, if they send you a new postcard in the mail, I would assume they do, because otherwise you could just, I would assume they have to make you verify it, because otherwise all you'd have to do is have them mail it to your house and then say, oh, but now I moved into the center of town where I'm going to get better results. They would have to verify that. So yeah, they're going to verify that for sure. And about your old address, I mean, you would just take that out. So yeah, nothing tricky about that. All right, next question from CJ Raphael. Hey, CJ. Hello, I'm new in the space. I want to help businesses rank their Google My Business listings rather than going with the rank and rent model. I'm not sure how much I should charge though. Any advice of that? Yeah, I'm not really sure what to tell you there. I don't really give advice on how to work with clients to do the stuff I talk about. I'm really talking more to business owners and stuff. So, I mean, I would just say, look at because I don't even do that for clients, so I wouldn't know what to tell you for that. I would just look at other people that do it and see what the going rate for that is. Sorry, I can't be more helpful there. All right, from 11 Path Media, what platform do you recommend for citation syncing? Yext seems expensive and seems they want you to use a partner instead of buying direct with Yext. Yeah, I actually use the Hoth for this whenever I do it. They have local SEO packages where they kind of work with all the citation sites, and they do it all for you. That's who I've used in the past, and I highly recommend them. Again, it's thehoth, HOTH.com. All right. From Troy Casanova, he says, do you recommend every business making YouTube videos? I feel like we always say email marketing is almost always needed. Wonder if you think the same with YouTube. Yeah, Troy, I'm a little biased, I guess, but I love YouTube. It's a great way to connect with people, and it's a great way to really build a lot of trust. And when you think about it, just like duplicate yourself all over the place. Because, I mean, I'm to a point now where I reach thousands of business owners every single day. And that's pretty cool, right? Like I make a video every week and then thousands of people get to see it, to get to see the videos. They get to feel like they know me a little bit and then they go further down my funnel, either working with me in consulting by the hour or with my paid programs. So I highly recommend YouTube. It's a little bit of a learning curve for people because a lot of people are shy on camera. I know it's taken me a while to get more comfortable. If you go back and look at some of my first videos, I don't look comfortable at all. Like I look very just dead behind the eyes. So it's the kind of thing where practice, 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 and just go into it knowing your first couple of videos are probably going to suck. And that's okay. You just have to embrace that. So yeah, I think YouTube is powerful for just about any kind of business out there. I'm a big believer in it. And it's something that really you mentioned email marketing. It can power your email marketing because the biggest part of it is knowing like what are you going to be emailing about each and every week. And when you have a new video every week, it makes it real easy because you just email them and say, hey, I've got a great new video for you where I'm going to teach you this, this, and this. Go check it out. And then not only are they reading your words in the email, but they're seeing you on camera. They're interacting with you in the comments, all that kind of thing. And then when you do a YouTube live like we're doing now, you can actually, it becomes a lot less one-sided and you can interact with them in real time, which is kind of my favorite part of this. I love doing this and I can't believe it's taken me so long to actually get on board with it. So yeah, do it. Just do it. Okay, next one is from Konstantin Kaluta. Hey, Konstantin. Do people believe the reviews and testimonials on my site because I'm editing this page? Okay, that's a great question. So what we're talking about is social proof. You want to have it on your site, but how much do people believe these reviews? Because they're on your website, which you can control. Theoretically speaking, you can put anything you want on there. And people do know that. So there's a few ways I like to get around over that hurdle. So the first thing is anytime you can get video reviews, get video reviews that are hard to fake. Even if you get someone like a good actor, they're always going to feel a little off if they're not being genuine, right? So video reviews are gold. Always recommend at least one of those, if not three. And then from there, text testimonials just by themselves are generally the weakest. But if something funny happens when you add a photo next to it, they somehow psychologically become more believable because you can see a person associated with it. And actually, if you get a photo that feels more authentic, like not a professional photo that can look like a stock photo, get like a social media photo. And here's a little trick what I like to do, because if you get a testimonial from somebody, when you ask them, hey, can you send me a photo to use? They're generally not going to do it. They're going to kind of get sidetracked by thinking of the right photo they want, and then they'll just get busy and they won't do it. So what I like to do is just go on their LinkedIn or go on their Facebook or their Instagram, find a photo, and then email them and say, hey, I found this photo. Do you mind if I use it with your testimonial? Usually they'll say yes. If they don't want it, they'll be real quick getting you another photo that they would rather you use. So I would do that. And then there's another thing you can do within Elementor. Again, with Elementor, right? There's a widget for testimonials. There's a bunch of different kinds of testimonial widgets in there you can use. One of them lets you actually bring in the social icon from supposedly where the review came from. So if you're taking your Google reviews and repurposing them on your website, you can put a little Google logo with it. Oh, sorry, lost the video feed here. There we go. All right. The camera kind of cuts out every now and then and I have to redo it. But so in that sense, when you have that widget with the little social icons, it adds a bit of legitimacy to it. And the other thing I like to do is have a little text link under your testimonials saying, read more of our reviews on Google or on Yelp. and it's a link that lets them go to a third-party site where you've had nothing to do with those reviews. So it's going to lend more credibility. And even if they don't follow that link, the fact that you put that link there gives a signal to them of, oh, they're not ashamed of their reviews. The reviews must be good or they wouldn't be linking us there, if that makes sense. So lots of little things you can do to kind of bring up the legitimacy there. Okay. Next one, lost my place here. Where are we at? Okay, from Bay Furnishings. Hi, Wes. Huge fan of your work. Thank you very much. What SEO tool do you recommend besides Yoast? Thank you. Yeah, as I said earlier, Rank Math. I actually no longer recommend Yoast. Sorry, Yoast, you're fine, but Rank Math is a little bit better. A lot of the features that you had to pay for with Yoast, like a lot of the local SEO stuff, like the local schema, which sounds really intimidating and techie, that was an add-on for Yoast, but in Rank Math, it's free, baby. So Rank Math is the one I like to use. They make it really easy, and it's free. And I think they have no plans on ever going to a paid model. I read once what their future business model is because I was wondering that, but it made sense at the time, but I don't remember what. But yeah, use Rank Math. You'll love it. Okay, next one from Karen Anand. Hey, Karen. Or is it Karen? It's spelled differently, so it might be Karen, not sure. What should be interest targeting to sell the power bank? Power bank, I assume power bank, you mean like a power strip of some kind. If that's the case, let's say it's for like a specific kind of phone, you would target people who are either on an iPhone or on a Android, whatever it is. I don't really know what the product is, so I can't really say, but ask yourself what about this product, who is a good fit for this product? Is it someone who has a specific device? If so, you can usually target based on devices people have. So, and if you know that people are living in a certain place or there's a certain age demographic, male versus female, there's all kinds of things you can do to target that way. So without knowing too much about what it is, that's about all I can tell you, unfortunately. And I need my keyboard, there we go. All right, sorry, I lost my place again. Where are we? Okay. Kevin Joseph. Hey, Kevin. He says, aside from citations, is there anything else that you recommend for map boostings? Yeah, so there's a few things when it comes to being found in the map listings. One with a bullet is location. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about that besides moving to a place where you're around more people that are searching. But if you have the budget, if you're a bigger business and you have the budget to do this, you can get a really small office in the center of town or someplace where most people are searching. Because I get this question all the time, basically saying, I live in, I'm just going to use this example, like I live in Naperville, it's a suburb here, but I want to do business in Chicago. That's where all the business is happening. How do I rank in Naperville for Chicago? The short answer is you really can't. You'd have to get a smaller office here. So that's the best thing you can do. Other than that, yes, getting a lot of citations built, making sure they're all as consistent as they possibly can be. We talked about it's hard to make them 100% because everyone's got their own little spin on it on their own sites. But what you can also do is a lot of stuff on your own website to really make sure that you're using, basically letting Google know that you are really doing the thing that you've told them you do. So you have to basically specify when you set up Google My Business what your service category is. So let's say, and they make you choose. You can't just say what it is. It's like it has to be certain things they already have. So let's say it's, vacuum repair or something, if that's a thing. If that's how it's listed in Google, you want to use that phrase on your website and your city name. So if you are a vacuum repair shop in Hartford, Connecticut, you definitely want to use the phrase Hartford, Connecticut and vacuum repair several times on your web page, in headings, that kind of thing. You want to have the Google map embedded on your site. You want to have local schema on your site. And that's, again, that I brought that up earlier. It sounds techie, but if you have Rank Math installed, there's a whole local SEO section in the settings there where you set all the stuff in, like all your service hours, your keywords, your all the stuff that you basically have to input in Google My Business. You repeat it there, and now all of a sudden we have a lot of synergy between the two platforms, which helps. And if you want to have any kind of video you want to do and put it on YouTube, it always helps if it's a good video that introduces people to your business, tells them the kind of problems you solve. But truth be told, just for SEO purposes, it can be just about anything. You'd put that on your page and you would title that video Vacuum Cleaner in Hartford, Connecticut, then the name of your business, then you do like your whole address in the title of that video. Then you'd kind of repeat that stuff in the description of the video, because Google owns YouTube, so there's a lot of cross-pollination stuff happening when you do that, and it helps. Location is still the number one thing, but it all helps. Okay, next we have from Bruce Engelbrecht. Hey, Bruce. Hi, Wes. Thank you for your great content. You're very welcome. Happy to be here with you. Do you do work for overseas clients? If so, how do you approach marketing your web design services to them? Okay, so this is an interesting question. I need a sip before I do this. I'm actually phasing out my full service offerings, meaning my full service web design, web strategy. What I'm offering now is hourly consulting, as well as my paid program, which is teaching you how to basically create and launch a profitable website. It's called the Profitable Website Launchpad. So it's a course, and I'm building more of those as well to really help more of you guys for lower amounts of money. So I don't work with any clients now except for that one-on-one consulting. And for that, it doesn't matter if you're overseas or not. We just do it over Google Hangouts and share screens, and it all works out fine. And then the next part of the question was, how do you approach marketing your web design services to them? Yeah, so I don't do that. But if you were to do that, if you're asking for yourself, you would basically, there's really not a whole lot of difference in how you would market to them. I don't generally recommend working with people on big projects overseas, only because contracts can be really hard to enforce that way. So even when I was doing it, I tried to avoid working with overseas clients for that very reason, because if someone wanted to not pay you in the end, you had very little recourse. So if you're going to do it, make sure you're getting your deposit up front and progress payments along the way, so you're never too far behind if that happens. All right, next from Ben Russell. Hey, Ben. I'm very new to sales and it's only me running my business. What's the most efficient way I can figure out where I'm going wrong if I don't get the response I'm looking for from my clients? I'm very new to sales and it's only, okay, what's the most efficient way? Okay, so I think you're asking about kind of a sales question, Ben, which is not really my forte. I'm not really much of a sales trainer. All I can really talk about is the things to do on your website and digital marketing to help. But if you're not getting a good response from your clients, I guess I'm wondering, like, are these your actual clients at this point, or you're not getting a good response from your ads to get clients? If you can drop in the comments, and Camille, if you can add that to the end here, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But if you could be a little more specific about what you're asking, Ben, then I'll try my best to help. Okay, from 11 Path Media, they say, what reporting tool do you use for your clients? Yeah, again, I don't really work with clients in that way, so I don't do that. How to best translate all the efforts and rewards of SEO to non-techie clients? Yeah, when I used to do this, I wouldn't be doing it myself. I worked with an SEO third party who would basically white label their efforts for me, because I don't really get down in the trenches of backlinking and all that kind of stuff. I know there's other people that are much better at that than I am, and I like to hire those people to do that stuff. So they would compile a report and just do it that way. So what I would recommend for you is maybe get someone else to do it for you, just on Upwork or something, see how they report to you, and then just try to reverse engineer that for your own clients. All right, from Probowo Tarantula. If I want to run a Facebook ads web conversion, What optimization should I use if I want to run Facebook ads, web conversion? What optimization should I use? Um, I'm not sure what the question is, honestly, Prabowo. If you want to if you're running a conversion objective ad, how do you optimize that? That's a big question. That's basically saying, how do you make a Facebook ad? There's a lot that goes into it. So if you have a specific question about that, go ahead and answer it below, and I'd be happy to answer that. Sorry, my iPad keeps kind of shifting views on me here. All right. Next question, Basketball Lover 101. How do you start a digital market agency as a teen? Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those, it's the same way you do it at any age. You just have to get your first handful of clients. And again, it's not really the focus of this channel. I'd love to help you out more, but it's just one of those things. You have to do everything the right way. You have to get a few clients, prove your worth, and then get the results for them that you can then kind of start parlaying and showing other people the results you got for them. And then you move up the ladder that way. So best of luck to you. From Raghu Sharma, will you create a portfolio website review next week? Not next week, but next month. I'm definitely going to have another video kind of like this. I've talked about this in the very beginning of this video. It'll be live. It won't be answering questions. It's going to be all about reviewing your websites for potential improvements. So look out for that. Be on with me and then put in your URL, and I'll be happy to review it. Okay, from Kyle Barnes. Hey, Kyle. When I'm updating a website, how can I get Google to crawl the website when the new content changes, with the new content changes? Can you force it into doing this, or when can you expect that? So yeah, when you add a new website, it takes a little bit of time for Google to kind of find it a lot of times. There are definitely things you can do. This kind of falls on the technical side. I'm more of the marketing person. I don't really know all that stuff. I have a developer who does those kinds of things. But what you can do, there's some shortcuts. You can basically just link to it from a few places. You can even link to it where it's a no follow link, like in it gets a little tricky. Like, you shouldn't really just be spamming YouTube comments with your links. I wouldn't do it that way, but you can link to it on your social profiles, that kind of thing. And Google will generally pick up on it. And then once you're on the radar, Google should crawl your site every couple days. Generally speaking, the more popular your website is, the faster they crawl it. Like the big websites, I think they're always on there, and any updates are pretty instantaneous. But yeah, within a few days, Google should crawl your website for sure. But yeah, build a few links to it, manually or otherwise, and you should be good. I wish I could tell you the actual way to get Google to see it. There's like a proper channel to do it, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, from Eric's Burzins. Do you have an SEO app for Shopify stores? I do not. Sorry. Again, I don't really cover e-commerce. So from Hiru Aki, I'm probably butchering that name. Sorry. Would you use your approach for smaller business? For example, a professional photographer? Yeah, I mean, that's all I deal in is smaller businesses, truthfully. So yeah, everything I talk about is all about smaller businesses, like especially service businesses like a photographer. The only thing I would say is different for photographers from what I normally talk about is the emphasis on images. So all that to say, I talk a lot on my channel about how important copywriting is to get across how you're different as a business, how you're better as a business. But when you're a photographer, most people, when they're trying to figure that out, they want to see your work. First and foremost, they want to see your work. So take what I say with that grain of salt as a photographer. When they're coming to your site, they want to see your work first and foremost. Still hit on your benefits, give the top 3 benefits of working with you, give testimonials, that kind of thing, the process of working with you, of hiring you, the CTA, all that good stuff. But your work should be front and center as a photographer. The other exception to what I talk about would be restaurants, right? How many people, when they go to a website restaurant, want to read a bunch of copy about it? I don't. And I'm the guy who loves copy. I love talking about copy. But a restaurant, I want to see pictures of the food. I want to see pictures of the space. I want to read Yelp reviews. And I guess you want to see the menu too. So, but for almost every other kind of business, everything I talk about is for you. All right, next from the PS world. How can I drive traffic on my affiliate link? So I would definitely start content marketing. I don't really talk about affiliate marketing that much, but when it comes to doing that, you basically want to create content that funnels into it. So it doesn't really help just to kind of build links to it. You want to think about YouTube videos. You want to think about blogging, maybe a podcast, and then you would build that into it. It's like kind of what they call advertorial content, where let's say you're an affiliate for Blue Apron, the meal delivery company. You would do a podcast and you would talk about, you'd either do like kind of a live read about it in the episode where it's just kind of a commercial reading, or you would make an episode about my experience with Blue Apron, like start to finish, how it looked when it came, all that stuff, or a YouTube video. So content marketing is the best thing you can do for affiliate marketing, in my opinion. But then again, there are a bunch of gurus out there who talk all about affiliate marketing who probably know about it way more than I do. I don't know why this view always keeps changing. Keep getting the keyboard here. All right. All right, so next up we have, hold on, let me get rid of this real quick. We have Eat My Uke. I guess you're a ukulele player. I love that. Hey Wes, big fan. Thank you very much. Could you advise on how to go about doing a big WordPress permalink structure change? Yeah, that's one of those techie things that I can't really give too much information about that. I know that if you have Rank Math installed, there's lots of things you can do, a lot of redirects in there. Yeah, sorry. And that's kind of the thing. Even if I knew about it, it'd probably have to be a visual thing to show you how to do. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, so I'm just gonna shut up about that one. Next, we have from Lori Carlson. Hey, Lori. I had a Facebook ad end yesterday with 300 plus clicks to the landing page, but no sign-ins. Recommendations to get people actually sign in. So by sign in, I would assume you mean to sign up for your freebie, your lead magnet. Yeah, this can happen, Lori, and it depends on there's a few things I can tell you. So it sounds to me like maybe your targeting might be a little wrong, or your ad might be a little misleading. It might not be actually showing people what they're getting, meaning there's a disconnect between your ad and when they get to your landing page, they feel like they're in the wrong place. They feel like, oh, this sounded like it was for me, but now that I'm here, it's really not for me. Or it could be your objective. So remember, when you do a Facebook ad, you have to specify what your goal is for that ad. So what I recommend for a lead magnet, and I assume that's what we're talking about here, is a lead magnet, you want to specify that you want either a conversion objective, meaning you want Facebook to show your ad to those people in your targeting group that are most likely to not only click through to your website, but to sign up for your freebie. And they know this based on their previous behavior, right? How often or how likely are they to do it based on what they've done before? So maybe what you've been doing, I don't know if you've been using the objective of landing page views, because that's all that's going to do is say to Facebook, show my ad in front of people who are most likely to come to my landing page, and then end it there. So make sure you got the right objective. Make sure that your landing page is really in close congruence with your Facebook ad, meaning it should look the same, right? Whatever photo you're using for your Facebook ad, ideally speaking, you should use a similar looking image on your landing page. And there can be a lot that goes wrong on your landing page. I can't see it right now, so I don't know. I would encourage you to come to my next one next month, and I can maybe take a look at it. But maybe if it's not designed right, if it's not really persuasive enough, if it's not giving them enough reason to sign up for it, these are all things that can contribute to that. So, I would just look at those few things and make sure you're targeting the right people as well. So sorry that's happening, but it is kind of common. You're not on your own there. All right. From Kareem Longuar. Hey, Kareem. I have an issue with Google My Business. I've tried many times to change my URL website, but it's not changing it. So yeah, sorry, that's a technical thing. I really can't go in and like do technical troubleshooting for you guys, unfortunately. So if it's not working, you'd have to reach out to them. So sorry about that. Next from Caesar Halmagian. Hey Caesar, how would you compete with sites like Udemy, Code Academy to sell info products like ebooks, courses, boot camps as a one-person business? Yeah, so I would not even look at those as competition, Caesar. When we're talking about info products like courses, because I have a course myself, and I had a choice, right? I could have gone with Udemy, where you do a lot of work to make a great course that is going to help people, and then they sell it for $10, and then they give out coupon codes to get it for $2. I didn't do all that work for that amount of money. So you're not really in competition with those. I would never recommend going that route unless you're going to be churning out like a 20-minute course every day and just making money on volume. If you really are serious about building a course, you want to host it yourself. You want to sell it yourself. And there's a lot that goes into it. It is not for the faint of heart. I spent the better part of a year preparing my course, not only the material of the course, but then all the marketing that goes into selling it. Like it's a lot of work. So here's what I would recommend. First of all, you probably want some kind of a course yourself to get you set up for success and all the right things. If you don't already, I highly recommend Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. It's really all inclusive and it teaches you how to do the course, how to sell the course. Can't recommend that one enough. And then from there, you just have to build in time to your calendar every day. And it could take about a year to get there. But yeah, if you're a one-man band, as they say, it's chipping away at it. It's like, how do you eat a Buick, right? You chop it up, you eat 1 tablespoon of Buick powder a day until it's gone. So that's kind of my analogy for making a course, because it can be that painful, but it's really rewarding in the end. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Let's see where we at here. Okay, from DocMike82, what local SEO recommendation is best for a laundry business? SEO recommendation for a laundry business, that can mean a lot of things. I don't know if you're a laundromat or like kind of an app that picks up and delivers laundry. I'm not sure, but if you are a local business, you really want to focus on getting in the map listings. So we're talking local SEO, Google My Business optimization. I have several videos all about that topic. So you definitely want to watch those first. And that's going to give you a good basis of what to do on your website, as well as on your Google My Business listing, and then on all your social profiles and your citations to get everything working in perfect harmony together to really give you the best chance. So that's the best place you can possibly rank as a local business, is in the map pack. Highly recommend doing it that way. So that's my best recommendation. All right, from Ryan Lindner, I'm curious if you could talk about why you changed from DeepEnd to just your name. Did it hurt your channel or brand to make the switch? Yeah, that was something I kind of had to wrestle with, because I started the DeepEnd about 10 years ago as a graphic design, web design studio. And one of the biggest catalysts for me to change from the DeepEnd to just Wes McDowell was kind of my URL was the first thing that changed, because it was the deependdesign.com, which that's not what I'm all about anymore. I'm not about design. Design has a really important place in your digital marketing efforts for sure. Never going to discount the benefits of good design, but that really branded me as a design studio. People would think they could come to me for logos and flyers and stuff. And while I started off doing logos as well as web design, I don't do that anymore. So it felt really weird to have that be my web address when it didn't really say anything about web strategy, what I do. So And then things like the deepend.com were taken. And at a certain point, once I started up with YouTube and people started identifying more with just me as a person than with the deep end sign that was always behind me, you know, I just had to make a choice. And I had to say, okay, am I operating as a business entity or am I operating as myself? And I just decided to operate as me, talking to you. It just felt much more personal. And I got to a point where I was much more okay with that. When I was younger and I was trying to be more of a big deal by acting like I was a big company. I would use words like we, even though it was just me to start. I eventually had a lot of contractors and stuff, but at the end of the day, like it was just me in the home office, but we'd say we, and I would just, you know, I'm very comfortable just being myself at this point. So it seemed to be a natural fit. It's the kind of thing that just has to be, it's a question you have to ask yourself and see if it works for you. It did not hurt my channel. All I did was I put out a video explaining what's happening and why. And then from there, I don't really feel like I lost any subscribers or anything from that. So just a matter of communicating and then you should be fine. So, all right. But that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. This thing keeps like switching views on me. Okay. Bear with me here, sorry. Okay, from Kyle Barnes. Hey, Kyle. Do I run any risk if I remove Yoast and add rank math to a customer's website? No. This is pretty cool. I just did a video on rank math. It's not out yet. I think it's out next Tuesday. But basically what I learned doing that video is if you already have Yoast, it has a one-click install where it just takes all your info and just like smoothly transitions it into the new platform. So you should be good to go. Just do a reality check afterwards and make sure nothing was make sure anything that may not have translated over you do manually, but it should do it. And you might just want to look for a YouTube video about how to transfer from Yoast to rank math, because my video is not really going to go too in depth on that. So, but yeah, it's kind of one of the cool parts about it. All right, from Wiltz Alexander. Hey Wiltz, what was the name of the instruction builder again? I'm not sure what that question is, Wiltz. Are you talking about the page builder Elementor maybe? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you can qualify that, and then Camille will, Camille's my content manager, and she's in the chat and she's putting everything into my little Google Doc here. So I'm not actually looking at the chat, but yeah, put it in there and then Camille will put it into my document and I'll get to it in a minute. All right, from DocMike82, is Google Plus relevant today as a social platform? No, I don't think it's even still there. Not only is it not relevant, I don't think it's even there anymore. So you can safely skip Google Plus at this point. All right, from Devesh Goel. Hey Devesh, any project management tracking tool you can recommend? Yeah, me and my team use Basecamp. I love it. I am able to communicate with my team. We ping each other. You can add to-dos. You can make to-do lists. And my favorite thing is actually making to-do list templates. So every 2 months, we have the whole content creation calendar of all my podcasts and all my YouTube videos. So that's a template that we make that Camille just duplicates for me every 2 months. And then we have all our to-dos for every step of the cycle there. So Basecamp is what I recommend. It's not super cheap, but then again, I don't think any of them are. I think I pay about $100 a month for that. But it really helps to have everything in one place. And you can, if you have clients, you can add them there. You can hide what they see, because I add my clients to when I was doing full web projects, you'd add them in, but then there's a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff between me and my team that I didn't want them seeing because they might freak out if they see it. So yeah, you can have really tight control of it that way. So love Basecamp. All right. Sorry, all right, I think we're good again. Hopefully that wasn't on the screen for too long. Okay, so let's see, our next one is From Brad Lawton. Hey, Brad. What are the key points to mention in a digital marketing proposal? Again, I don't really give advice on that stuff. Sorry, I can't really. There's a lot of key points that would go in there, but this channel is mostly focused on me talking to the end business owner what to do to DIY. There's plenty of channels out there that do kind of talk to digital marketing agencies and how to position themselves to clients, but this ain't one of them. Sorry. Okay, from Rajat Kumar. Hey, Rajat. How to generate business to business leads using Facebook ads for a LinkedIn marketing company. Business to business leads using Facebook ads. So, yeah, basically, it's going to be the same way, B2B or B2C. You're going to get your targeting dialed in to. They used to make it easier to target like job descriptions. You still can do that. It's not 100% great, but you can do the best you can. Like, so if you're B2B, like let's say you're trying to target marketing managers, figure out what software programs they use and then target based on those interests and just try to put together a nice package of all the different interests they have, targeting that. From there, you'll do that content piece, the short video that's a how-to, a helpful video showing them like one quick thing to do, to where if they watch that video, they raise their hand saying, I'm interested in this topic, then you retarget those views with something more showing them your offer. And then you target people who looked at that ad or click through to that ad with objection busters, video or otherwise, and objection busters and testimonials. So that's the general funnel I'd recommend there. It's the same B2B to B2C. Sorry, that was a lot. B2B or B2C, because at the end of the day, here's what I want you to understand. People do a lot of B2B or B2C, it's so different. It's really not, because even when you're B2B, business to business, you are not marketing to a building or to, you're marketing to a person who's charged with making that decision. So if you can make their job easier by giving them something that's going to help them in their job, that's still a problem you're solving for a person. Never forget that. All right. So we've got another one from Ryan Lindner. Hey, Ryan. What are your thoughts on Kajabi and using it as an all-in-one solution for web courses and email marketing? Okay, that's a great question. I use Kajabi for my paid program, the Profitable Website Launchpad. I use it for my sales pages, not for my sales pages. I use it for my checkout flow and to host my course itself. I know that they have email marketing built into it, but I don't use it for that. I haven't done the homework yet to know how good their email deliverability is. It would save me a whole lot of money if I did, because I use Drip and in addition to it. So it's a lot of monthly expense, but I don't know yet if Kajabi's email deliverability is good, meaning do those emails land in their primary inbox or in their promotions tab? If I don't know those things, I'm not going to go with it. And then in terms of a website as well, I don't use it for that either. I know you can, and maybe I'm just like kind of afraid of change, but I also think when you use an all-in-one platform like that, whether it be Kajabi or ClickFunnels or Lead Pages, I generally look at those things as a bit of a workaround for having your own website. And I'm very comfortable having my own website. I would hope so, right? I talk about all this stuff. So I got my website just the way I want it to be using Elementor, including my sales pages for that. But then when it comes time to signing up for the course and paying for the course, then it links to Kajabi's checkout page, because I don't want to handle that on my own website. The e-commerce thing, I'm not an e-commerce guy. So I let them handle all that stuff. All right. Let's get back to where we were. All right, from Whale, and I'm not going to attempt the last name Whale, sorry. Don't want to screw it up. Kindly recommend a very good keyword research tool. Yeah, free, I got to this earlier. Free is Ubersuggest, paid is KW Finder. Those are my best options for you. From Hiru Aki, what do you think about Google Sites? Honestly, I've never used them. I don't think they're probably very good. Again, I think so if anyone doesn't know, It's basically part of Google My Business, where it's Google's answer to just a really bare bones basic website builder. Um, I had thought originally maybe they would give some extra SEO love to their own sites, but I've watched a few YouTube videos on that topic, and it seems like the consensus is they don't. Here's the thing, guys. When it comes to website builders, I highly recommend just going with WordPress and going with Elementor. Other than that, like when you're talking about a Wix or Squarespace, it's so limited, and they've got these templates that are not designed with content in mind. What they are is basically a designer designed these templates because they look great, but then you have to like shoehorn your content, your copywriting into it. I don't recommend that. In Google Sites, I honestly don't know what they are. I would imagine they look very basic, and it's so easy to get up and running with Elementor that that's just what I recommend you do. I literally learned it within 10 minutes, and you can do the same thing. So if you go right here to my masterclass right here, the end of it really shows you like exactly how easy it is to physically build a page. So go check that out if you haven't yet. Okay. And by the way, we're a little over an hour now, and basically we're going to go for maybe another 20 minutes, if that, at which the battery on my camera will die at some point too. So if that happens, that's when we're over as well. So I'll get to as many as I can though before then. Okay, so next we have from Tahir Lakdawala. Thanks for the live, Wes. You're welcome. Any website or SEO tips for an interior designer? Yeah, I mean, that's really a big topic. Basically, you want to hit on your benefits of working with you. This is also remember earlier how I said how for photographers, one big difference between what a photographer needs as opposed to what I teach on my channel here is the emphasis of photos. Same thing for you as an interior designer. People coming to your site, they want to read, you can do so much with copy. You can let them know your benefits, what it takes to work with you, all that stuff. Pricing is important, FAQs. But I would imagine 95% of people coming, they just want to see the goods. They want to see, what do you got in your book? What's your style? What are the before and after transformations? So obviously put an emphasis on that. Those should be pretty high up on your page. In terms of SEO, just make sure you're doing all the normal stuff. Do your keyword research. Make sure you're building landing pages for your different services, because you probably have kitchen remodels or bathroom remodels, any of that kind of stuff. So, and I actually just went through a few consulting calls with an interior designer. Shout out to Kim Horton. She's great. She was having trouble with her packages, kind of the way they were being named and described. They were a little confusing. So I helped her out with that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're talking about, if you have different packages and different levels of service, you're being very clear what you get with each, because it can be really confusing otherwise. So take a step back from knowing what you know about it and put yourself in the headspace of, as someone who's never been to my website before, who's never heard about me, do all of these things make sense? And that's a good exercise to go through. You can even have other people look at it for you in that way. So, all right, moving right along. Let's see, who do we got next? From Caesar Halmagian. Hey, Caesar. About info products again. I already have a few, but I'm having a hard time selling them. Why would people buy my courses when they have a ton of courses available on Udemy? That's where marketing comes into play, and you got to tell people, okay, this is the best thing I can tell you about selling any kind of info product or anything, right? This has to do with any service business, and I'm all about, this channel is geared toward service businesses, but this applies to you as well, selling an info product. I don't want you to concentrate on the features of, whether that's a service business, basically a dedicated service rep. That's a feature, that's not a benefit. And when you're talking about selling a course, don't talk about 5 training modules, 4 hours of content. What you need to be selling is the end result, right? That is what's going to make you stand out. So what I talk about for my program is I do not say, I'm going to teach you how to make a website from start to finish. That implies, okay, great, Wes, I'm going to walk away knowing how to make a website. What I emphasize is not only am I going to teach you how to make a website, I'm going to walk you through every step of the process, start to finish. We will do it together. So by the end, not only will you know how to create a client generating website that operates in the background, gets you clients on autopilot every day, you will have done it, with me as your guide every step of the way. So this is not a instructional program. This is an implementation program. You get a result at the end of it. So that's how I want you to talk about your course, because most of them on Udemy probably don't really talk about it that way. They just say, this is what you'll learn, not this is what you'll do. This is what you'll accomplish. It makes a big difference in the mind of your potential customers and your potential students. All right. So next we have from Arnav Sharma. Hey, Arnav. Facebook custom audience update frequency. Is that a question? I guess I don't understand the question. I guess how often should you be updating your Facebook custom audiences? Ideally speaking, you would have that kind of be like, for instance, if you have people, if it's like people coming to your website, that can be a custom audience that you retarget. That should be linked up to your website to where it's always refreshing. Otherwise, if for some reason you have it on manual mode, I do it every week. Hopefully that helps you. All right. And this is the last question I have on here. So if anyone has any more questions for me, now would be the time to pop it into the chat here. All right. So this last one I have now is from Proboo. And she said, hi, Wes. I'd like to hear your opinion about my funnel. Video ads, 1% lookalike audience of 50%, web conversion ads, retarget with CTW. I'm not quite sure, again, the question. I can't really comment on that based on what I have here, unfortunately. I love that you're doing a lookalike audience. That is my favorite way of targeting people, which is basically if you have a customer list or an email list, you're feeding that into Facebook, and then they go out and find you a bunch more people that closely resembles that list, which is awesome. So I love that. From there, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not really understanding the rest of the question, so sorry about that. But that's all I have here. So anyway, guys, this has been great. I'm going to put it down now, so I guess the questions are closed. But anyway, thanks guys for joining me today. This has been great. I do plan on making this a much more regular thing because I love talking to you guys in a more interactive way like this. And keep in mind, next month, we're doing this with a twist where I will not only be here live with you, I will be reviewing your websites. So the way that works is you show up, you pop your address into the chat, and then I'll bring it up and I'll share my screen with you. And we'll have to put some kind of a time cap on each one, but I'll kind of just give you my first impressions of what I'm seeing that could be improved for the best possible improvements to your conversion rate. So anyway, guys, this has been great. I hope you're having a great week, and I can't wait to do it with you next time. All right, bye for now. All right. Not sure how to turn this off though. Oh, there we go. All right, for real this time. Bye guys. Have a great rest of your week and a great weekend.